Anuj Poddar, ED at Bajaj Electricals on the show right now. Anuj, hi, morning. The channel checks that we've been running are suggesting the demand has been a little bit subdued in the months of July and August. Wondering if this can pick up now that we're on the cusp of the festive season?
Yes. So firstly, the not so good news, July and August has been soft. And we did see a little bit of a spike on the 15th August weekend, particularly driven by, the modern trade and some of their push. But again, it fell right after that. But coming to the good news, I think September is definitely looking better. We've seen a pickup in the last 10 days on secondary, tertiary sales. We do have an early festive this year. So we're hopeful that September should somewhat cover off for a week of July, August and set us up well for October. Just the last thing that we're watching is a monsoon. The good news in monsoon is it has progressed well, but we are also watchful of the flood situation in parts of, like you see, not just Bangalore but East India, etc., and what the impact of that could be. Yeah.
I'm wondering where is it, Anuj, that you actually see demand coming in from? Is it the rural or the urban end of the market?
So the jury is out, but I would place my bets on the rural. Rural has been weak for almost a year now. But with the monsoons being largely good, except for this flood part that affects some segments or geographies, and the food inflation in a way is a positive for the agrarian in the village economy, the rural economy. So that combined with the MSP being higher, etc., I'm hopeful that rural by Q3 should see a pickup and somewhat offset otherwise a perceived weak demand outlook.
Yeah. The way we look at the setup is that there was a lot of sort of white goods which were manufactured in China and they were branded in India. And that in a sense was the main supply chain which was at work. Made in China, sold in India with a stamp of a large company. What is happening to that entire chain given that there are problems in China and there is supply chain disruption?
So let me just speak for our company and our sector. We fortunately operate in the more smaller not white goods, smaller domestic appliances sector. These have always been primarily made in India. It was about above 85%. Now it's close to above 90% because we've had some more localization and import substitution. So to that extent, we are not that dependent on China. The other good news is, to the extent that, the less than 10% that we do import from China, supply chains right now, or not just China, some other parts of East Asia, supply chains now are better than they were about a year ago, and freight rates have come down significantly. So the headline there is not top of my mind. It is not something that I'm really bothered about right now.
Huge raw material inflation which the industry was dealing with. Given that there seems to be a normalcy in prices, will you retain back the price hikes or will you pass it on? Are we in for, as a customer, I'm asking a good discount if I'm planning to buy something before Diwali in the share, and should I wait?
So that's always a tough question, right? Let me give you as straight answer as I can. First, again, the good news, commodity inflation is significantly down. Prices are down since July, August, and therefore I think it's kind of bottomed out on that part. Secondly, we are, in a way, we've all taken the brunt on margins. So we do have, I would say, I've earned a right to get back to our normal margins and earn some of this, benefit because we did not pass on 100% of this back. That said, we're always consumer centric. We're always watching demand. We're just looking at demand elasticity, the way it's going right now, not really in the form of discounts, but certain amounts of schemes and bundling to drive offtake of demand. That's what we're trying to do. So I think as we run up to festive, you may not see a straight discount, but you should see some schemes that come out from our end and in turn percolate down to the consumer end. But if that means deferral of purchase, don't bet on it. If you're getting good prices, go for it right now. Yeah.
My question was more like not from Nikunj the anchor, Nikunj from the consumer. So you're hinting to me that wait for a Diwali Dashera scheme combined with credit card and then I'll get a better deal, right?
No, absolutely not. I'm saying the other way around. Don't wait for it. Because I think prices have bottomed out. We have very limited, leg room to, not earn back our margins and pass on more. But anything we do is not at a price level, but just little bundling to make you buy more, but not expect lower prices, to be honest, Nikunj. And you as a consumer, yeah.
So they should not be holding on to their purchases. They should not be waiting for the festive season. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying go out and shop. We all need the demand to kick in. It helps all of us. This is the time to go out and shop and make up for all the times that you did. Yeah.
So can I also ask you this then? At a time when so much has been said about inflation, supply chain disruptions, margins of India Inc., what would your strategy be for the festive season? Now that inflation has started coming down, will you want to give consumerism a big thrust? Will prices come down? Because normally that doesn't happen, right? It's difficult to see companies bring prices down once they've gone up. But is that something that we could see this festive season?
So to be honest, to add to what I just said, reality is we have very limited, leg room to bring prices down because we did not raise it fully. We all, if you look at all the results, we've all taken a beat on our margins, right? So if the prices have come down, if anything, that's only giving us a breather to get back to our normal margins. We do need to. And also, we're not seeing huge buoyancy of demand where we are not seeing huge operating leverage where we can really pass it on. So we do need to balance that very tightly. It is a very tight balance there. So I'm not seeing any room for prices to come down. But the flip side is, I don't see prices going up for quite some time now either. So
reboot has happened, and I'm using this just for our viewers here. For example, the whole idea of working from home changed the way we were, in a sense, buying gadgets. So post-COVID, are there any categories which have got rebooted in terms of relevance and importance and mindshare of the consumer?
So I'll tell you, Nikunj, end of 2020, maybe a little early parts of 21, you did see this huge, on one hand, pent-up demand, but second, like you said, people from home upgrading their homes and buying a lot more gadgets, appliances, doing it up, right? I think that was a tailwind. We are past that tailwind. We are back to normal purchase or consumer behavior on how they buy. So it's not to have negated, but we're just back to normal. You don't have that huge tailwind. That said, I think if you look at the macro numbers or trends, India penetration levels, the average quality of gadgets, or appliances in most average homes, etc., we do have a long way to go to catch up, not from developed economy comparisons, but just pure economy comparisons. But more than that, I think the big change driver is energy efficiency. That's happening category after category. Fans is the latest one where there's a compulsory star rating regime that we've entered into, and all of us are pushing new energy efficient fans. And the ROI from a consumer perspective is, a no-brainer. You'll get back the investment in buying a new fan within 12 months, if not quicker than that. So I think that if you're a consumer, my genuine advice to you is this is the time to upgrade to more energy efficient categories, particularly fans. I think you'll see a big, churn hopefully in the next 12 months on fans as a big category.
Are you thinking on the lines of taking advantage of the global heat wave, what's happening in Europe? All of us know the news that this time around there was shortage of air conditioners, there was shortage of fans. When I speak to some of your peers, they are telling me that, look, we want to start exporting to Europe, whether it's a fan or whether it's air conditioner.
Absolutely. And just incidentally, I chair the Fans Association, and we had a meeting last week. And, it's obvious, right? It's staring in the face that this new heat wave in Europe is possibly presenting an opportunity. That said, these are different markets. The conventional products that work in India will not work there. Typically, even if they put in fans in those homes, they're unlikely to be ceiling fans, which is what you see in India. These homes are more likely to put in pedestal fans, etc. Therefore, that's not what typically we manufacture in India, but we are from a medium term looking at how do we just reorient our products to cater to these markets, which I think that will continue to grow over the next 3, 5, 7 years. I don't think global warming is going anywhere. I think there's more and more parts of the world that will be forced to adopt fans and other gadgets that they previously did not used to.
Right, okay. Anuj, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining in today.